We can create a spectrum from less isolated tasks to more isolated tasks on this line here, and I've dropped one starting point on this line for processes. Processes can share information running on the same machine, but they're also separate to some degree, where memory patterns in one process don't necessarily affect memory use in another process. An example of something to the left of processes on this line would be threads, running all in the same process. So they can share memory and they do affect each other, but still they have their own stacks and program counters, so they get a certain amount of independence. Still, they're on the relatively left end of this line, the less isolated end of the line, because threads within a process share so much. At the opposite extreme, of course, we have completely different machines. They don't share memory, they don't share processes, they don't share stacks, they don't even share file systems or specific network connections. They're not completely isolated, unless they're on desert islands, because they can still talk to the network, but we're going to consider that to be our rightmost extreme point of isolation. I've left a lot of space in between processes and machines, and that's the spectrum we'll be focusing on today. Just to the left of machines, we have virtual machines. These are things that are like machines, but they actually run on the same hardware, so they share resources to a certain extent, even though they think of themselves as being completely separate like machines. In between virtual machines and processes, we're going to look at containers. Docker is an example of a container system. These are like virtual machines in that they run mostly independently, but actually they're processes and they can more easily share things than different virtual machines running on the same hardware.